It's lunchtime in Giant Land. What's going on, everyone? It's lunchtime. You know what time it is. Thought we would jump on the mic. I don't know why my camera does that. I don't know why it does that there, but I thought I'd jump on the mic and chat a little bit about the Giants, chat a little bit about the potential secondary issues that we may be coming across this year. Jalen Mills got waived. He wasn't really doing shit. So he got moved on from, of course. And it's interesting that everyone talks about the front seven. The Giants' front seven is going to be phenomenal. Well, your front seven better be phenomenal when your back four ain't. And I think we need to get a little bit concerned because,
worry about your own game. Plenty there to keep you busy.
Well, there's plenty out in that secondary to keep us busy. There's plenty out there to keep there. If you take a look at what the Giants roster has accumulated with the secondary, now you automatically got to go to Banks. And Banks, in my mind, he is like the neighbors of the defense. He's there. He's a quality guy. He is a guy that we're going to have to rely on heavily because he's backed up by the likes of Trey Hawkins, David Long Jr., and Christian Holmes. You have Dane Belton, who's still holding off the Tyler Nubin as your starting safety, and you have Owens and Alex Johnson behind him. You got Jason Pinnock with Elijah Riley, and then you have the likes of Cordell Flott on the other side, backed up by Darnay Holmes and Borders. There'll be other people mashed into the raw. What's going on, my friend? How you doing this morning? Everything's going great here. You got other guys that'll be mashed up into this roster that the Giants, they're always bringing in guys. They're always having a little bit of tryouts, and they're always signing guys, and we're always moving guys because this roster is far from finished product. And then I take a look at the front seven, and you got Burns, Lawrence, you got the Nachos, and you got Kayvon Thibodeau. And then behind them, you have the likes of Okereke, McFadden, and Phillips in the nickel. You know what's interesting? Isaiah Simmons is supposed to be this guy. Isaiah Simmons is supposed to be the man. He is going to be the singularly destructive force when we signed him for that bargain contract. He was going to do things that he has yet to do in the first 5 years of his career. He's sitting right now as the nickel behind Phillips, behind the rookie. That should pause to give you a little pause from concern. And then when your linebackers are Kayvon Thibodeau, Bobby Okereke, and Micah McFadden, behind them you have Johnston, Coughlin, and Azeez Ojulari. Behind them you have Fox Adams and the kid from what's his name? I can't think of it. The kid from UCLA. And then you still have Beavers, and I think you have Whitley. I think he's somewhere on this team as well. I look at what I see. And I see a team that on defense has 4 quality guys, a second-year player, and that's in Jason Pinnock. Micah McFadden has the highest missed tackle percentage of anyone at his position as a starter. Bobby Okereke, I've said it before, if Bobby goes down, we're screwed. Because what are you going to do? You're going to bring in Azeez. Oops, I just hurt my hamstring again, Ojulari. You're going to run out Carter Coughlin, who hasn't played since that game in Seattle in the Judge era. Mr. Oliver says, Tim says, hey, I believe Pinnock and Banks go down. The secondary is cooked. If Banks goes down, that's it. You literally, I was talking to an Eagle fan because, like I said, I'm an Eagle. Everyone knows I'm an Eagle Steeler country. And we were talking about the defense. And he was like, well, what's your secondary looking like? I was like, well, we got Banks, Belton, Pinnock, and Flott. His response was, what? Who? I know Deontay Banks. And like I said, Phillips moving into the nickel, you are going to potentially be relying in your safety position, Dane Belton and a rookie. And your nickel position, a rookie or the likes of Isaiah Simmons. And your other corner alongside of Banks is going to be Flott, Holmes, and Borders. We are gambling men here. Joe's a gambling man right now. Because if you don't generate a vicious pass rush with Burns and Thibodeau, if you don't generate a run-stopping ability with Dexter Lawrence and the Nacho Man, you are going to be cooked in that secondary. That's burnt toast. Anyone remembers the 86 Giants? They had Elvis Patterson on the other side of Perry Williams. Elvis Patterson, going back to the days of the Raiders, Nick's name was Toast because he always got burnt. And I have a feeling if you do not, Shane Bowen is not what we would refer to as a depth in reference to dialing up a stellar secondary. His first year, we've talked about this a million times, his first year with the Titans, where Mike Vrabel even came out and said he didn't have the title of defense coordinator, but he was the defense coordinator. They went 11-5 that year, but they had one of the worst defenses we've ever seen that got cooked in the playoffs. Then they brought in Jim Schwartz for 3 years. Jim Schwartz, and like I said, go read the Daily Tennessean. He'll tell you, Jim Schwartz tell you right up chat. My job was to be a second set of eyes, and my job was to mentor Shane Bowen. So they had a pretty good defense those 3 years. Then Schwartz goes over to Cleveland, takes the job as the DC. Secondary gets cooked again last year because he only rushes 4 guys. He likes to generate a rush with 4 guys. And you have 2 guys that are carbon copies who have issues in reference to their ability to go to make the proverbial impact because of the fact that they have times and places where they did. Kayvon Thibodeau had no sacks the first 2 games and a half a sack the last 6. So in 8 games, he had a half a sack. He had the majority of the sacks in 3 games. Brian Burns does the same thing. He disappears at times. So if you do, there's going to be a game, and I said this before, and I think it's probably going to be against Dallas, that both of these guys are going to be shut out. And you're going to have to leave your secondary out there to fend for itself. And I don't like those odds. Anthony says the season is going to be very interesting. I'm excited and scared, Anthony. I like that. I'm excited and scared because if you look at the depth behind this team, we've been talking about depth forever. You got Boogie Basham, Jordan Riley, Ryder Anderson, Ezekiel Jalari, of course, Carter Coughlin, Johnson, Simmons, Hawkins, Newman, Riley, and Thomas. And behind them, it's a mixed band. It's a mixed band of others. You are hoping that Boogie Basham steps up. You're hoping Jordan Riley steps up. You're hoping that Ryder Anderson steps up. You're hoping OG Ojulari can stay healthy. You're hoping Carter Coughlin finds a role after 4 years. You hope Johnson's not an aberration or a camp guy. You hope Trey Hawkins figures it out. The same thing. You hope Elijah Riley figures it out. You hope Newbins can come in and work it out as a secondary. And then behind then, you just basically have garbage and David Long, Nick McLeod, Fox, DJ Davidson. I mean, it was funny. Bob Papa was on the NFL Network and they were doing the Giant Camp preview, and he was on there with Chris Sims. And I laughed though because Papa was like, "Well, you know what's going to happen here is we're gonna reach a point here, and we're gonna get down to cut down. The Giants are gonna have to cut a lot of good guys." And I'm looking at the roster. I'm looking at the depth. I'm like,
Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Looking at our depth, and I'm like, okay, you have Hyatt and Slayton. You got Boykins and Houston. You got Wanda Robinson, Isaiah McKenzie, and Gunner. And on the other side, you got Neighbors, Isaiah Hodges, Allen Robinson, and Bryce Wheaton Ford. Your tight ends, Bellinger, Cager. Your quarterbacks are Jones, Locke, and DeVito. Your running back room is still Singletary, Gray, Tyrone Tracy, and Deontay Miller. And they thought so highly of everything that they did last week before Tracy got hurt. They actually brought in another running back. You have no depth in your offensive line. You are an injury away from Andrew Thomas for having another swing gate tackle like a Justin off the couch Pugh. John Michael Schmitz can't stay healthy, and he's still an undersized center. I mean, I'm not seeing this exorbitant amount of depth that we allegedly have. Mr. Alvarez says, do you think the Giants will trade for anyone defensive back before the season starts, or do you think they wait until during the season? Well, right now they don't have any cap space. They have $9 million, but once Rule 51 breaks, they're negative 25 to 28. Not even counting the $10 million in operational cap space. So it's gonna have to be a trade for a guy on a rookie deal, or a later round draft choice. Can someone explain to me the intelligence of Shane? And I know Phillips wasn't really going to be anything on this team, but trading a defensive tackle to your division rival for a 6th-round pick. And then a lot of people are like, well, that's not a bad deal. You got a 6th-rounder for Phillips. That's not a bad deal. But we gave up a 7th. So we went up 1 round and lost a guy. And lost another veteran presence. James Williams says, hit the like button. The best dancer I'll ever hear is Gump. James and I literally spent 2 hours on the phone yesterday talking about the new Lego set that came out for Jaws and Forrest Gump. And how Forrest Gump had a better career in college than Daniel Jones. James is unaware that in the movie, now the book is different from the movie, but in the movie, Forrest Gump played in college for 5 years, was a 2-time All-American, and his last season, if you go by the lineage of the film, was Alabama's 11-1 season where they won a national championship. Yeah, this is what I got way too much free time on my hands. Shane isn't intelligent. I don't know if he's not intelligent. I'm not going to say anyone's not intelligent because I don't know Shane. I don't think he is astute at the game of football, and I don't think he's as astute at being able to identify talent that he thinks he is. We just have to go back and look at the drafts. Let's see. Tim's Vegas has Kayvon Thibodeau sack under at 8.5, Burns at 8.7, Dexter at 4.25. I always like Connor. I like the Vegas. I like getting the odds from Vegas because Vegas is all about making money. They take all. I try to take the majority of the emotion out of Giant stuff. And I try to give an unfiltered perspective of what I think they would be without going crazy. And I always look at Vegas because Vegas always gives you a good indication of the mindset of people. And we've talked about this before when NFL Network came out the day we made the trade, said the same thing that I said, that Brian Burns, great player. Giants got a quality guy for, 2 and a 5 and a 7. So, I mean, it's like, it was not a crazy, it wasn't a crazy amount of draft capital to give up for a guy that could potentially be something special. But then they gave him $140 million, and he is known for his career as an 8-sack guy. I didn't say it. I reported it. I said it, and I got blasted for it, but that's what they're saying. So, yeah, I could see Kayvon Thibodeau getting 8 sacks. I could see Brian Burns sack total going. I could see Burns' sack total going down a little bit because he's got Kayvon on the other side. And you always figure 4 to 5 sacks from Lawrence. You just hope that there are big opportune times. James says, so what are you saying is we're going to crash and burn? Well, that's Marin Shane for the shit show. They're going into 2024 season. What a joke. I'm just looking at this depth on this roster. And like I said, what the secondary. All right, here are the points on the roster right now that scared the bejesus out of me. Positionally, you're starting CB2. Your free safety. Your nickel. I'm still concerned about McFadden and the depth. People forget McFadden got benched last year. So I'm concerned about the depth behind McFadden and if he can replicate his season. I'm not a big fan of Nacho as a starting defensive tackle. So I'm fine with Burns and Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau. Okay, there's 3. And Jason Pinnock. So I'm fine with 4 out of the 11 defensive starters. If you take a look at, and I love this, and I'm going to keep saying this over and over again because I don't fucking get it. I have to hold my head because I'm literally getting a tension headache just thinking about this. I keep seeing on Twitter, well, the New York Giants have the best wide receiver room that they have had in years. All you did was add 1 player. All you did, it's almost outside of Robinson, who's probably not even going to make the team, and Isaiah McKenzie. All you did was add Neighbors. These are still the same guys from last year that are starting. Hyatt, Slayton, and Robinson. So you're telling me adding, and this is why I worry about Malik Neighbors, is the expectation on him is going to be so high that anything that he doesn't do is going to be a failure. But the wide receiving room is exactly the same. James Williams, big James. Mr. Roberts says, we drafted almost every defensive back the Giants currently have, and the best ones were the wing guys. Everyone forgets with Deonte Banks. Everyone forgets that Wink nearly tackled Joe Shane when they took Deonte Banks. Do you think Joe Shane? Do you think Wink wanted Deonte Banks a little bit, just a little bit? Do you think he had some input in drafting him? Sonny says, Tim, what do you think? Tim, what would make you happy about the Giants season? I'd be happy with 6 wins, 7 wins. I'd be happy. Competitive football, 6, 7 wins. And I say, it's funny. I've said this the last 2 seasons. I just want to see a competitive team that is building for the future. And that is as a season ticket holder, someone that pays thousands upon thousands of dollars to sit at these games. That's what I tell people. I mean, I'm there are plenty of people that are on YouTube that make a lot of money from super chats and everything else that live in the New York area that don't even go to the games. There's my dumbass sitting in the fucking rain for a preseason game against the Detroit Lions. Why? Because I love Giants and I love football. But I'm the only one there. I look around all the time. I'm the only one fucking there. I don't want to break news to you. I retired a long time ago. So I don't even have an income. But it's reached a point where everyone wants to talk about what's going to make them happy. But I just want to see a competitive team. I want to see a competitive team that's growing towards the future, that is building something. And I say this every year, 7-2, 2-5-1. It's a dichotomy of 2 seasons. You started 7-2. You had 3 of those wins. One was off a missed field goal. One was off a stop at the 1-yard line on the last play of the game, which the game shouldn't even have been that close because there were 2 interceptions called back on bad penalties against the Jaguars. And there was another game that we also should have lost as well. So we should have had 4 wins in the first part of the season. And then when the wheels started falling off the bus, when they started keying on Barkley, that's when we go 2-5-1. I always talk about that Washington game where we basically the tie, because Shane, I had the video of it, and Big L was with us. Shane came, we watched it, and I had the video of Shane doing. He ran down the tunnel towards the end of the game to try and, to watch, see what's going to go on. And this is a game they didn't let Daniel Jones do anything at the end. It was almost like that we wanted to go into as a tie. And then Shane's coming back through the tunnel after we tied the game. And he even said, I can't believe we fucking lost this game. And I thought to myself, you didn't lose it, you tied. But to him, it was a loss because it was in the division and it was a game we should have won. And that was kind of the breakdown of that entire season. So the ability for the Giants to rebuild in year 3 now, the Shane regime, the clock is ticking. The clock is running out. Mr. Oliver says, Shane's obsession with drafting small players is so many different positions, one to run slot being the main examples. I don't get that either. Daniel Jones, over and under passing, 2,800 yards, 16 touchdowns, 15. And I just love it because everyone's like, I want to see the 2022 version of Daniel Jones. The guy that almost never cracked 200 yards passing. The guy that had 15 touchdowns. The guy that they took the ball out of his hands on big opportunities at times during the season. That guy. The guy that got $160 million for being average. Pimp Name Stickback says, I am not sold on the defense. The secondary is a bunch of question marks, and the front four, while good, is extremely overhyped by Giant fans. I don't know if they're overhyped by Giant fans. I think Burns and Thibodeau can have very good seasons. I think you're going to get what you get out of Dexter Lawrence. But I think the problem is you still, to your point, you have four guys, but I'm only talking about three. But you got four guys. I'm only talking about three guys. You got to think about that for a second. Where's that fourth guy? So, I don't know. Dennis says, O-line, Giants' favorite channel of Debbie Downer. Online. You know what, Dennis? You're a fucking idiot. Knock, knock. Who's there? Not Dennis, because he's a fucking idiot. It's a Debbie Downer because of the fact that we are sitting there speaking truth. Maybe your mommy should go wipe your tushy so you can hang out with the big boys. Fucking idiot.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Well, Pip Next Look Back also says, also, there are fans predicting 8-9 wins. Our Vegas line is 6.5 with a top 5 hardest schedule. What are people looking at? They're looking at hope. Zach Attack always talks about hopium. And it's a dangerous thing, hopium, because it blinds you to what's really in front of you. We have I think the highest in reference to certain media outlets roster ranking we have is 28th of the league. So out of 32 teams, the highest one I've seen is 28. The lowest I've seen is 32. The second lowest I've seen is 31. So, I mean, in reference, if you're having people from the outside looking in at the talent, that's what they think of the roster. I'll happy with the top 5 pick or a chance to get a quarterback. I need Jaden Drones hype train to finally die. The problem is I don't think there's that many great quarterbacks right now in the top half of the draft. There are certain years. What's his name? What's his name? I can't think of his name. He was there was a year in the NBA draft where it was so bad. And it was not, there was really no consensus number one pick. And I can't think of the year of the draft. I'm trying to think. It was 2013. And the Cleveland was it Cleveland? Was the Cleveland Cavaliers got the first pick. And you always have this one consensus guy at the top of the draft that you're all in love with. That year there was no one. And they took Anthony Bennett, number 1 overall. And Anthony Bennett literally lasts, I think, a season in Cleveland. Then went to places like Minnesota, the Raptors, and then he's just been bouncing around. He's just been bouncing along. He's just been going Anthony Bennett's gone everywhere else in this league except for Cleveland. And it's one of those things. I think of the 2025 draft the same way when reference to quarterbacks. You're going to get Sanders. I think the jury's still out on Sanders. Is Beck coming out? Is the Manning coming out? I think your draft is going to be better in 2026 for a quarterback. Daniel Jones is going to be here in 2025. Just prepare yourself. I'm going to keep saying this over and over again. Our cap situation right now, the only way we can get under the cap is if we restructure Andrew Thomas's contract and Daniel Jones's contract and probably move on from Darius Slayton and make a couple other moves. That's the only way we're going to get under the cap. So you have to think now, what is the possibility of us doing that? And it's a scary. Oh, my monitor's cut out. I can't see anything. Come on, monitor. Come on, monitor. Oh no, the monitor's out. The monitor's out. Oh, we're having a technical difficulty right now. Evidently, I have to plug back in and unplug the monitor because somehow we just lost complete power. So let me just see what we can do here. Oh no, we're losing the camera. Oh no, we lost the camera. Where do we go, my lovely? James says the simple facts that we actually had a game end in a score and a tie. Sums up the last 6 years. Jay also says, I need second half of the Cardinals game against Daniel Jones. It'll never happen, but that would be nice. You need a full season of the second half of the Cardinals game. But here's the problem with that. And I'm not picking on you, Jay, but here's the problem with that. Tampa let up. I'm not Tampa. The Cardinals let up. The Cardinals, that second half, went to a Tampa 2 and stopped blitzing. They went to basically a bend not break defense that Shane Bowen wants to play. They had the astronaut quarterback, and they stopped blitzing. That's what happened. That's what happened with the Cardinals. I mean, again, it's logic, but let's see. Mr. Alvarez says, Mr. Alvarez makes a point that JMS and Evan Neal are undersized linemen, which is not usual to have. I've said this before. I was never a fan of JMS. Never a fan. I thought he was an undersized center. He lost a bunch of weight in college before he came in. I understand that he was a guy that had the he was a former wrestler and all that fun stuff. I wanted Joe Tippmann. I did a whole video about getting Joe Tippmann. Joe Tippmann last year for the Jets played in 16 games, started 14 games, and evidently they're talking about him being another Nick Mangold. So we got to stick with what we got. Pimp said, did you hear about the beard, though? I think he's ahead for an elite season now. Yes, I heard that with the beard, he's 12-5. I don't remember that. I remember having a beard for 17 games. You're literally holding on to anything. Not you, Pimp. But you're literally holding on to anything, Giant fans. He's got a beard. He doesn't have a beard. He's got a flat top. He's got the shaggy mane. He's got the crew top. He's got dreads. Daniel Jones's record with dreads is 2-0. 2-0. Ryan, what's up? Tim, what do you think about the top 5 excuses delusional fans and beat writers make to the Giants this year? Here's going to be the top 5 delusion of Giant fans this year. If the offensive line gives up any sacks, it's going to be the offensive line fault. If Neighbors drops a pass, it's going to be Neighbors' fault. If the sun is coming out of the northeastern quadrant and potentially could be on the corner of Daniel Jones' eye, it's going to be the sun's fault. Then at one point in time, it's probably going to be Dable's fault. Why the fuck did they put a football game 1 o'clock on a Saturday? I don't get that. Yeah, I know the Jets played had a noon game the day after the Giant game, or 2 days after the Giant game, but a 1 o'clock game on a Saturday, it's gonna be a tough watch. I got a family. I got shit to do. Got a hair there. Where do we go, my lovely? The same guy played in 2022, had a total of 22 touchdowns, didn't even match his rookie season passing game. What a joke. Oh, my goodness gracious. Mr. Stein says, I want the Giants to get their shit together for a long, good old days of Phil Simms, Eli Manning. Bottom line is we need to get back to the basics. We do. The basics are play to good defense, run, and win. That was Giant football for years. That's been Giant championship football. But the problem is our basics are the fact that we're going to rely on a running back whose top season was last year with 800 plus yards on a playoff team with a rookie quarterback. Think about that. Think about Devin Singletary for a moment. He had a rookie quarterback who lost his star wide receiver, and they didn't rely on the running game. He had the most amount of carry was when he had over 216. And he had one of the lowest yards per carry percentage of his entire career. And they didn't rely heavy on him with a rookie quarterback. And I watched a lot of Titan games because they were winning. So, I mean, I don't know. Asmi, what's going on, Tim? Everything's going good. Evan, what's going on? Watch everyone. Daniel Jones has the beards. It's He's now amazing. I love the other day, Daniel Jones had a beer and he went 13 for 26. Or the other day he had a really bad. And then I love he had good practice the other day. And now it's like everyone forgot the bad practice he had the other day. James Williams says you can pack up all the hopes and optimism you want, but also bring a canteen of reality. You need reality. Because reality is gonna make you feel better. Reality is going to give you, at the end of the day is going to allow you to really focus on something. I always love James' pictures, but you got to go with the original picture. Come on, James, you need the original picture. With your girl giving the side eye. Now Kwani Brown, that was with the Wizards. That was weird, Kwani Brown, because Michael Jordan says he didn't even want him. Anthony Bennett. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Anthony Bennett, man. That was one of those drafts where, you didn't want the first overall pick. Cleveland probably saw that ping pong ball and was like, fuck. The first overall pick. And there's nobody in this draft. There's no one in this draft that we feel like we really want to go after. Oh my God. But let's see. You had Victor go to the Magic. And then I'm trying to think, I think that was the Nerns Noel draft. I'm trying to think who else was in that draft. I remember Shane Larkin was in that draft because he played for the Knicks for a little bit, and Tony Schnell was in that draft. I think did Tim Hardaway Jr. Was Tim Hardaway Jr. in that draft? But those were like the big names in the draft. Those are the big names. Those are the big time players that were out of the top 50. 2005 quarterback doesn't look good. It doesn't look good right now. You're right. I mean, you have to wait and see what the season has to hold for you. But then do you really want a quarterback that is going to have his best season in his last year? I always go back to Kenny Pickett. People will always say to me, well, you liked Malik Willis. I still like Malik Willis. But I was never a fan of Kenny Pickett because Kenny Pickett was a 5-year starter at Pittsburgh, and his best season came in year 5. There's something to say about that. That Joe Shane virus finally activated. I knew it. The Giants finally they sent a virus. Now I'd cut Jones, eat the cab, then draft a quarterback later to keep the quarterback room bucket low, and then have the rookie DeVito tank commander all the way to the great giant quarterback the following year. You have to hope you get someone in free agency, maybe. But I don't think, like I said, it's a 20-something million. I think it's a $22 million dead cap number right now for Jones. So I don't think the Giants are going to move on from that because I think that number is going to be more like 30 after they redo his deal. I think the Giants should also look into drafting wide receivers already, Lucifer Burton III. We don't need another wide receiver. It's a detriment to your team when you don't even have a quarterback and get the ball to the wide receiver. Did Evan Neal learn how to flip burgers yet? He might have to. Danny said, and I love it. Danny Drud said, Daniel Jones still stinks, beard or no beard. I like GMS cause I can sing the song about it. I want a Ricky Stromberg or Tippmann. I like Strom. I actually did a video about Ricky and Tippmann. Which is kind of funny because I like both of them. I don't remember what the video was called, but I think it was called Center of Attention. And I actually had, I think it was Tippmann, Stromberg. I can't remember another one. And then I had JMS. 40 touchdowns, 30 interceptions because of the beard. This is a 4-6 win team. Stanley says, hey, Tim, a non-giant question. Do you think LeBron James should have gotten the MVP in the Olympics when Steph Curry was the main reason why we beat France? I think LeBron James got what he got because of the fact that he's LeBron James. And I don't think without Curry, you have you're going to have an issue against France. That tells you something right now. And I love the fact that when Carmelo Anthony came out and said, I would never trade my 3 gold medals for an NBA championship. Bullshit. That's all I'm going to say. Wishful thinking is not a plan. Wait a minute. Wishful thinking is not a plan? I thought wishful thinking I thought hopes and dreams was the best plan we had. Hopes, dreams, and close your eyes and pray. Ryan says, hi, thanks, Tim. That sums it up. Side-eye lady of the Meadowlands. I just love that because James got in trouble for that. And he told me, don't post it. I'm going to get in trouble. Don't post it. I'm going to get in trouble. Don't send it to my girl. I'm going to get in trouble. I sent it to his girl. Yeah, he got in trouble. People need to understand something. You tell me not to do something, I'm going to do it. That's just me. You tell me that something, you don't just. What do we say? After we sack Shane, what can we get for Burns? I don't know. Burns is going to be here. But the Burns cap number the next 2 years it's not attainable to move on from. And I do think it's interesting that a lot of NFL analysts basically even said with the Burns deal, good deal. I've said it before, good compensation deal. Very good. But you're not a Brian Burns away from being a contender. You're not a Matthew Judon away from being a contender. And like I said, I love it because I go back to Hard Knocks because we have video evidence. Joe Shane asks Brian Dable, point blank, if you could have any player, any position, what would you want? Offensive lineman. What about Brian Burns? It's like, oh, I just said offense. Does Brian Burns play offensive line? I don't remember. I forget. Same thing with Shane Bowen. Shane, what do you need for your defense? I need 2 linebackers. What about Brian Burns? Sometimes when I hear Shane, it's like, okay, you just got this shit stuck in your head. So you might as well just do it and not ask anybody. Kush says, I'm just stoned. It's early enough. It's just a Friday. I believe we'll move on from even with the $30 million because if they restructure again next year, thanks to Shane Genius, that's the 4th year of his contract would be over $40 million. I mean, honestly, you can't eat 30 plus million on your quarterback. You can't take 18 to 20% of your roster and throw it away on a guy that's not even on the team. You can't. Because that, again, is going to push you down the road. That's going to push you away a little bit from your ultimate goal and objective, which is to hit the like button. That's going to push you away from that ultimate goal, which is the win, which is to be competitive. So even if Daniel Jones has a season where you think he is going to be average again, you have to sit there and think. You got to sit there and remember, well, there's also a lot else going on this team. You're going to have the maturing contracts of Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas. You're going to have Kayvon Thibodeau going into year 4 next year. So you're going to pick up unless something happens, you're going to pick up the 5th-year option. I mean, there's just so many things going on that you have to look at this roster and say the way it's constructed and the way it's built, it's not built for the future. So the future may have to be Daniel Jones, at least in year 7 is what year 7. Think about what you're saying though for a second. Year 7. And then we're going to have 1 playoff win in 7 years. And people are like, well, what a career he had. You can't trade Burns. You need to trade Shane and Mara for people who know how to win a championship. No, you can't trade Burns. There's no reason to trade Burns. And I do agree with that, James. Hey, Tim, what are your thoughts on the Ole Miss quarterback, Jason Dart? And do you think he could be the 3rd best quarterback in the draft? I don't know, to be honest. It's way too early to start predicting these guys, to be honest. It's way too early. I mean, we got to get a couple games under our belt before we can even see what people think they're going to be. In all seriousness, I'm completely exhausted from Daniel Jones. It's like we are now in a never-ending bad dream. It's the old 80s movie, Never-Ending Story. And everything's always going to be somebody else's fault until someone finally has this epiphany and wakes up and says, you know what? It's not everyone else's fault but Daniel Jones. It's not the world's fault besides this. You have to just figure it out. And I don't know if people are going to be able to figure it out. I mean, I hope they're going to be able to figure it out. I hope we've come to the conclusion that they're going to be able to figure it out. But it's just, you kind of reach a point where something has to stop, something has to give, something has to be different. Oh, I don't know anymore, guys. I really don't. I'm gonna. What is corporations are charging? Well, I don't know. I am just going to ride out this season and have a good time. I'm gonna go to the stadium. I'm gonna drink a lot. I'm gonna hang out with my friends. I'm gonna sit there with James. James and I are gonna be there for the home opener because we probably can get a win against Minnesota. So Blackbird says, "Good afternoon. I'm still in my ankle air brace." Well, you know what? You're doing worse off than Tyrone Tracy. So maybe there wasn't a connection there. Evan also says people will overhype Jones' performance tomorrow, good or bad. That's the problem. Jones, let's say against Minnesota, goes 17 for 25 for 180, a touchdown, an interception, and 30 yards rushing. You're gonna have to hear how he had a Mahomian game. He was just like Patrick Mahomes in that game. Did you see it? That's what you're going to have to deal with. And I go back to 18. I've said this before. 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, 4,000 yards, 26, 4,700 yards, 38, 4,800 yards, 37, 5,000 yards, 41, 4,000 yards, 27. Those are the amounts of yards and touchdowns since 2018 that Patrick Mahomes has had. So since his rookie season, Daniel Jones is in 19, Mahomes has averaged 4,700 yards and 36 touchdowns. Averaged. Daniel Jones, if we want to just be comparison, because Daniel Jones was at one point in time being paid like he was that guy. If you want to go by average, Daniel Jones so let's see, he's 4,632 touchdowns. Daniel Jones averaged 2,300 yards and 13 touchdowns since 19. Okay. But I'm the fucking crazy one. Evan says people will overhype Jones' performance like tomorrow. Yep. Alvin says the quarterback in next year's draft are always going to be Sanders. Otherwise, Howard, Ward, what's her name? I don't care. No, I'm not saying it to be mean. It just I can't start looking at quarterbacks for next year when I haven't even played this season yet. I gotta see. Maybe Tommy DeVito figures it out. Maybe Drew Lock. No, I can't even say it. Next year's quarterback draft may suck. It does. Stanley says, "Hey, Tim, do you think the rumors are true about Jones and Kay Adams may be dating?" No. James evidently went down the rabbit hole and did some research because you hear nothing about Daniel Jones' personal life. He has no personal life. He has no endorsements. He evidently has no friends because he goes to concerts by himself. There's a weirdness to that. And because James going down the rabbit hole, evidently he's dating the same girl he was dating in college. But going down that rabbit hole is kind of a weird rabbit hole. You went to a concert. You are the starting quarterback for the New York Giants who got a $160 million contract. You went to a concert by yourself, walking down the street by yourself. And then when someone recognizes you, you yell at them. That's a little strange to me. When I go out like places like I always go with a group of people. It's just weird. That's Jay Stanley. Hey, Tim, do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers will win the NFC North? Because I want to win that division. Of course, they're going to win the NFC North. They always win the NFC North, or they always make the playoffs. I do think it's probably going to be the Bengals. But, you never know. The Bengals will win the AFC North. Steelers usually are 9-8 as usual. Drew Lock is trash. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. It helps the channel. I don't know why. It just does. We're going to have the live stream, of course, on Sunday, which will be fun because we got a lot of guests coming on Sunday. So make sure you go in for Sunday Giant. I'm very interested in Sunday Giant because we're going to have some guests. I'm not going to tell you who these guests are going to be, but they're going to be we're going to have some surprise guests. So make sure you tune in for that one because I'm kind of curious that one on my own. At the end of the day, the Giants are going to be what they're going to be, and I know that's a pretty broad and open statement that the Giants are going to be what they're going to be. But that's it. That's what they're going to do. They're going to be what they're going to be. I mean, they are going to be a team that is going to give you moments of hope. They're going to be a team that is going to have these plays which are going to come crashing down. So you're going to see these guys that are basically going to give you that. I don't know how our Indian trades, but per Zag Attack, they are going to give you that hopium, and then it's going to go crashing down to earth. And I kind of feel that that's going to be I kind of feel that's going to be just the moniker of the entire season. And I hope I'm 100% wrong. I'm hoping that the Giants do something special. I'm hoping that the Giants move towards move the needle towards the right direction. I mean, I gotta hope on all that. But I'm also in the thoughts of reality that this team is not going to be good. You can only rely on you have 22 guys starting. And think about it. You got 22 guys starting. So if you take a look at those 22 guys, what positions are you truly sold on that guy is going to be a stud? The only one I can think of on offense is Andrew Thomas. You may want to throw Neighbors in there. So there's just 2 out of the 11 on offense. And on defense, you got to go Burns, Lawrence, and probably Thibodeau and Okereke. And Banks. So out of the 22 guys, there are maybe 7 guys on this team that are starting right now that you would say that any other team in the league would want. 7 out of the 22. And 4 of them are on defense. I hope Wan'Dale Robinson has a great season, but here's the problem with Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson is not a first year or second year player. He's going into year 3. You hope that Jalen Hylett figures it out. You figure you're going to get your 700 yards from Slayton. You hope Runyon isn't the player that they said he was over in Green Bay when they basically was rotating his snaps with a rookie because they knew they were going to get rid of him this year because he wasn't worth the value. And the nicest thing they could say for him at times was, don't pull the guard because he'll trip over his own feet. I mean, that's kind of weird. We have a weirdness of expectation for this team. You got Singletary, who's only best season was 800 yards on a team that was a playoff team. I don't know. LeBron or Kobe, Tim? LeBron or Kobe? I got to go Kobe. I got to go Kobe. Sorry. Can't go LeBron. LeBron was this guy that just found his way. And then when he forced himself out of Cleveland and took his talents to Miami, he's never done anything on his own. Yeah, Kobe had Shaq, but Kobe was also a player at his height was at Kobe Bryant. I don't really want to get into to basketball, but I'll get on to basketball. Kobe Bryant at the pinnacle of his career. The pinnacle of his career was shooting almost 38% from three, would average 31 points, another 5 to 6 rebounds, another 5 to 6 assists with almost 1 to 2 steals. And he was a guy that played in, especially early on, he played in 80, 82, 65, 65, 80, 70, 82, 82, 73, 82, 78. He was a guy that played more than an integral part of the role. Think about the 2005, 2006 Lakers. The dude put up 35 points a game. And the year after next that he put up 31 and shot almost 45 and 46% from the floor. Kobe was a special player from 2002. I would say from 2002 to probably 2013. Kobe was a dominant force that could do things on his own, and his stats would have been more egregious if Shaquille O'Neal wasn't there. What's the Falcons game up to with Juden? Makes me a little angry considering we needed what we paid Burns. Yeah, well, that's true. That's why I was joking about Juden. Let's see. I need a quarterback with a cannon for an arm. I'm so tired of quarterbacks with the middle of the pack arm that are not able to really provide a threat downfield. You're not wrong. The Giants refused to sign another quarterback after the lock injury, depending on Jones. You thought they would have brought in another arm. You thought they would have brought in Nathan Rook back. Just have a camp arm. I don't know, but we have such blindness. Tim, what's good, Tim? Damn, I'm late, OG. You are very late. Shane says, let's go with Love and Xavier now that we're going to have the weakest defensive backfield in the league, but we have Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, don't tackle 14-3 season ahead. I saw someone, I was listening to someone, I didn't see him. I listened to someone on the radio and they were like, well, Brian Burns is pretty good against the run. And I was looking at Burns' stats against the run. I'm not seeing it. What's good, Big James? Mr. Alvarez says the Giants did something special. All right. Instead of signing a quarterback since Locke is down today, they brought in a fullback / tight end. I saw that because the fullback tight end position has been utilized so much in this league over the last 10 years. Banks, Lawrence, Bobby O, maybe McFadden and Kayvon on defense. Right. So I said 4 out of your 7 guys are going to be on defense that you could say other teams would go after. Hey, Tim, remember 2022 when 2J threw for 40 touchdowns and nearly 5,000 yards? Man, that was awesome. Wait, that didn't happen. Yeah. Even Andrew Thomas can play 15. I hope Andrew Thomas has got to play 15 games. He's got to play 17. Some of the guys of the current Packers offensive linemen they recently drafted, I said I wanted in previous streams. You did. I actually do remember that you did. But the problem is this: the Packers and the Eagles are smart. Jason Kelce. They knew he wasn't going to last forever. He's been injured off and on. So what did the Eagles do like 3 years ago? They drafted his replacement. And he's been sitting on the roster. And now he's going to start. Same thing with the Packers. They knew that they didn't want Runyon. So they basically said they weren't going to pay Runyon. So they drafted a guy. And what did they do? They ended up rotating snaps between Runyon and the rookie like the last 6 games of the season and through the playoffs. What does it tell you? The value of the player. I got to fly. I could kill it. I don't know what I can kill it with. No, if I kill it, if I hit it, I'm going to hit the microphone. Break the microphone. Let's see here. Kobe was the beast, and that dude knew how to lead. People question his leadership, but Kobe did it his way. If you didn't like it, then you're not worthy to be a Laker. I'm not even a Laker or a Kobe fan, but I would take prime Kobe over James. Because Kobe's one of those guys that you were just like, he wanted the ball in his hands to take that last shot. The Giants need to give a competitive season. We deserve at least that. Then remember, our basics is DNA of winning. Blackbird said, Tim, thank you, Tim. That's why I love you and your channel. Kobe won more than Bron with less help, and Kobe played tougher competition in the West. we didn't even get into the competition of the West. There was times, especially in the West, that guys that didn't even get into the 8th spot, this is before the play-in, they were sitting at 9 and 10, could have probably been like a 3rd or 4th seed in the East. So he beat a lot of 51 teams. I would rather have Juden for 3 years at 60 than 150 for Burns. Both put up the same numbers. Management is dumb. Yeah. Kobe had some great moments. I'll never forget them. But the one thing I always remember forget is Kobe hitting both free throws against the Warriors. He had already ruptured his Achilles tendon. That's man shit. That's Jack Youngblood playing the Super Bowl with a broken leg. That's manly stuff. That was like the time I cut my leg with a tile cutter, and I was doing some bathrooms. I was doing I was retiling the bathroom, so I cut my leg with a tile cutter. So I took the waterproof mesh that I was using on the wall, and I wrapped it around my leg, and I took some toilet paper and I put it on top of that, and then I took the duct tape and wrapped it around my leg. My wife was like, that's not really a bandage. That could be a hospital moment here right now. Not a let me see how handy my husband is by using the materials he has around him so he doesn't have to stop working. Pretty good, maybe. Nope. So, but Burns against the run. Nope. Yeah. I went back and watched some games the last couple of years with Burns, and yeah. Hey, Tim, did the Giants do a trade with the Cowboys for the first time in years when they traded Phillips away? Yes, they did. And like I said, for people that are like, oh, such a great Shane move. He got that 6th rounder back. He also gave up a 7th. So he gave up a player and a 7th for a 6th to a division rival. So let's say, for the sake of all sakes, that Phillips makes the team. 4th and 1. Giants driving. 20 seconds left. Giants down by 4. And you know what's going to happen? Phillips for a 2-yard loss on 4th down. You know it's going to happen. I'll admit one thing. I wanted John Ryan Jr. in the later rounds. The Packers got him. Well, the Packers didn't need him. We signed him. I just hope Ryan works out. I hope so too. For cap reasons, we now have 1.5 million under the cap. We are now over before cutting Phillips. Let's see here. I don't understand what makes Giants confident in Daniel Jones wouldn't play the entire season. Even with him, the Giants aren't guaranteed to win more games. Stats don't lie. They don't. You're right. You had to win 50 games, even be an 8th seed in the West back then. You did. That was crazy about the West back in those days, those Kobe days. Like I said, the 9th or 10th seed would have probably been either the 3rd or 4th seed in the East. That was the nightly competition he had to play against. And outside of the Shaq years, there wasn't much quality in LA. And I love Shaquille O'Neal as a player. But I mean, it's one of those things that you take a look at it. Could the Lakers have won without O'Neal? Well, take a look at this is the thing. I'm going to stop going over this. This is the thing with O'Neal. Could the Lakers have won without O'Neal? They did. People forget O'Neal's game records: 51, 60, 49, 79, 74, 67, 67, 67. There's 82 games in a season. His minute totals, he averaged about 36 minutes a game, between 34 minutes a game. And this is a guy that was a beast, but over his 7 years, only averaged 11 and a half rebounds a game. So when Kobe was playing night in and night out, there was plenty of times that Shaq wasn't even on the floor. So people forget. Again, we have revisionistic history as time goes by. Holy crap, the saying that was some manly would be tough shit, Tim. There's no way I would. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Listen, I got the wet tile cutter. So I everything's a mess. I got shit everywhere. I literally had the basin out. I got the new basin in, and I'm sitting there, and I cut the bottom layer of the shower because I didn't want to redo the whole shower, and I got matching tiles. So I was in a groove. I had to finish. So I wasn't gonna let blood gushing out of my leg stop me from finishing. I am the LeBron James fan, but he cries too damn much on the court. Michael is the GOAT. Michael Jordan, and again, I don't want to keep talking about basketball. Michael Jordan is one of those players that you always said that you always, and it's not true, but again, it's always a revisionistic history that he never missed a shot. I will say this, he never missed a big shot. And if he would not have gone that way to play to play baseball, and he missed that time, this is a guy that's still at the height of his career. 37, 35, 32, 33, 31, 30, 32, 26, 30, 29, 28. And he averaged 28 his last season and playing an 82-game season. And this is the other thing about Michael Jordan. Outside of his second season where he only got hurt, he only played 18 games. 82, 82, 81, 82, 80, 78. Then he got hurt, and he got hurt, and then everything else that went on. So he had 17, 82, 82, 82. He played 82 games at 470 years old as with the Wizards. Still averaged 20.6 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal and a half. This is a guy that was always on the court and averaged 40 minutes a game he averaged 38.3% for 38.3 minutes a game for his career. He was unstoppable. He always played. He played night in and night out. You think of the flu game. You think of everything that he did for the league. You think of the fax he sent where it says, "I'm back." And what that did, you had one year where everyone was like, hey, we can finally win a fucking championship because he's not here. When do you think of the fact of this? The entire league, when he was out that 1 year, the entire league was like, we can win a championship because LeBron is not, Jordan is not here. When has anyone ever sat there and said, we can finally win a championship, LeBron's not playing? The entire league was like, okay, they are at a hindrance because they only have Pippen. And remember what happened when Pippen came up in the big spot? You remember what happened in that game? You remember what happened after that? Strider says, how the cap works in the NFL is hurting my head, but if Joe wants $10 million on occasional cap space, the season starts, you still need the negative. How's that going to work? It's going to work because you're going to redo the Thomas Jones contract, probably get rid of Slayton and do a couple other things. Telling you right now, guys. Telling you right now. I'm calling it. Stanley says, hey, Tim, what's your overall thoughts on the Giants Hard Knocks show? Was not a good look, and the Bears kind of showing the way. The Bears, it's just not a good look. Tim, where do you think the Giants rank the NFC East, NFC Central? You gave flowers on the Pat Leonard live chat. We gave you your flowers on Pat Leonard's live chat last night. You should have checked it out. We talked about the Giants homers in the chat. Really? I didn't know there was a Pat Leonard chat. Who's Pat Leonard? Pat Leonard, the beat writer? When someone sent me the link, I like getting flowers. I don't get them anytime. I like getting stuff. I like getting flowers. Pat Leonard, he's the beat writer. Pat Leonard, the beat writer, right? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think which one Pat Leonard is. I can never remember. I'm just still upset Bob Papa doesn't like me. And Bob Papa doesn't like me. He doesn't even know me. He thinks I'm somebody else. He's always rude to me when he sees me. Maybe I don't like you, Bob. You fucking think of that. I always love when people go, you'll never say, you should have people on your show because you'll never say these things to them. And then there's people that know me and they're like, oh, you don't know Tim. You don't know. Yo, Emmanuel, what's up? MJ missed a lot of game-winning shots, but he also made shots when it mattered the most. Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone has this revisionist history with MJ that he never missed a game-winning shot. He did. But he came up big and he came up clutch. He came up like 7-up. Imagine how long the MJ's career would have been if they have gone to load management back then. I just realized LeBron James is the GOAT, a.k.a. gloat, a.k.a. always going on another team. Oh, I like that one. That's a good one, Stanley. Michael Jordan almost never made a mistake or ever looked awkward on the court. He never. I mean, it's funny with Jordan again. I'm gonna get off the bat. I could talk about basketball for hours. Basketball. I love football. I loved to play football. I loved being part of football. I love being in locker rooms. I love. If people say to me at times, you played the sport, what did you miss the most about it? I missed the practices. I missed the guys in the locker room. I missed just the overall feel and the generalness of the game and the love of the game. And like I said, I love the Giants, but I love basketball. Basketball is my first love. Basketball is always that game that I will talk hours about. I can go back to the Bradley Knicks. I mean, I can talk not just about New York Knicks. I can talk about everything with basketball because that is something that ever since I was a little kid that I enjoyed playing. And it's just that game that always just made it. I was just always excited about it. And I always tell the story that, we had a scout for Purdue come and watch one of our high school games. And I was the center, and I'm only 6'1", so it was not a very big center. And I loved it because they were looking at one of the other players on the team, and he came up to me after the game and said, we would be scouting you if you were 8-9 inches taller. And I remember that day because I remember looking at him, and it was my senior year. I said, well, I'm going to work on that. I was like, what the fuck are you supposed to do with that? OG says 6-11, the same season. I can't see them winning two more than that. Yeah, Pat Leonard, the beat writer. Is it a podcast? Is it on YouTube? Swing Culture. What's up, man? You stopped texting me yesterday. Strider says, yes, Pat Leonard was a writer for the G-Man, does his streams on YouTube. I'm going to lie. I'm not going to look it up. If someone wants to either send me the link or cut the clip out from the link that's discussing how wonderful I am, then I will watch it, but I will not go and look for it. And I will not go and watch it because I just found out the other day that you can go on Twitter and you can search on Twitter and you can search like Online Big Blue. And I thought it was great because I was like, wow, a lot of people fucking hate me. It's like, that's fucking awesome, man. I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know your name came up and you could see what everyone's talking about you. I'm like, wow. I'm fucking hated. Of course, I'm sitting there like this. Yes, mission accomplished. Pat Leonard keeps it real, Tim, as well, Tim. That's why Giants homers don't like him. I'll have to look up Pat Leonard, though. I know who Pat Leonard is. I'm not familiar with his his writing, I guess to say. I don't think MJ would be cool about load. I don't think MJ would be cool about load management as well. Jackson says I support DJ. Okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I think he's better than Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
Now, gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
I don't give two shits if DJ's dating Kay Adams. Kay Adams is hot. Don't get me wrong, but if he's not winning games, it doesn't matter to me either. Go out there and win. Didn't Romo date Jessica Simpson? Didn't that ruin his career? She's blonde, right? I think so. I can never remember. Giants fans are so crazy. I know. That's why I didn't say anything, Jackson. I knew you were being facetious. DJ should be dating her. I support DJ, but you don't just overlook the mediocre play. Jackson says he's the quarterback. Yeah, that's it. Jackson's right. Jackson said it, and that's why I didn't get on. You know what's funny? Because most people would be like, "Well, Tim, why didn't you attack Jackson for all the things he was saying?" Because I knew he was being facetious. Sometimes you can tell, and he's right. He's the Giant quarterback, so you have to support him. Just like you have to hit the like button. Because if you don't hit the like button, I don't know. So you could tell. I can tell a lot of times when people are being facetious, and I can tell when people are just freaking assholes. So that's why I didn't go after you. That's why I didn't do it. If he doesn't win, if he doesn't, I will. Joe Shane, hey, second time. We were just talking about you earlier. Joe Shane will get fired. We know he does. You don't want a quarterback that's a what? That's ISIL. Okay. Pacho is pretty good. Offers a lot of Giant contact. Dropped an interview video with Allen Robinson today. Oh, geez. Hold on. What's the name of the channel? What is it called? Is there a name to it? Pat Leonard channel? Giants? Holy crap. Let's see here. Oh, there he is. That's Pat Leonard. Okay. There is there is Hoop Dreams, Malik Neighbors Play. It was a live stream 13 hours ago. Okay, this is already too fucking complicated. Pass. Pass. Reporting that he could be dating someone is like watching TMZ. Who gives a damn? Let us football fans want results. We want W's. I like it when people hate me because I dislike everyone. That's. I live in the middle of nowhere, and I live in the middle of nowhere for a reason. Because I don't like people. Jones is better than Aaron Rodgers on Planet Crack. DJ's better than Rodgers. I love it though. Yeah, Romer did date Jessica Simpson and got a shit for it. He went on a Cabo, Mexico with Jason Witten because they had home field advantage. Flash, the Giants beat them in the playoffs. Oh, okay. Kate Adams is Kate Adams old enough to be DJ's mom? I don't know Kate Adams. I know who she is, but I don't know how old she is. She's I don't know. How old is Kate Adams? I don't know. What is she? Kate Adams, NFL? I think isn't she married, Kate Adams? Am I confusing Kate Adams with somebody else? She is 38 years old. Kate Adams is 38 years old. I had to look it up. And it doesn't look like she's married. She's been active since 2010.
That's what she said.
It's a present. So maybe Kate Adams isn't blonde. She looks like she got brown hair. I don't know. I don't know. I got my own problems. You're smart. I know that. Daniel Jones is a dog. Alejandro. I love it. Can we just stop with the fucking nicknames? Can we just fucking stop? On a break at work. Oh, yeah. Zach's got a job name. Pat Leonard is the channel. I got an idea. How about someone just send it to me with the timestamp? Because maybe I'll look at it. Because I'm not. It's too much effort. It's literally too much fucking effort. Somebody asked me the other day, and they said, would you ever have like someone from like a beat writer or someone from the Giants on? Because someone from the Giants organization, not from the organization, someone that covers the Giants reached out to me the other day about maybe coming on the show. And I said no. Because I was just like, I don't like having guests. But then I was thinking about it, and I was probably too harsh or rushed with that statement. And because you gotta, you know what, I was thinking about it, I'm probably gonna reach out back to the guy. I'm not gonna say who it was because I was kind of a dick, but I'm gonna reach back out to the guy, and I'm probably gonna say, yeah, hey, let's have you on. Because I think it takes a lot of balls to want to come and do this or be on this show. Because I'm not gonna sit there and ask cupcake questions because you're there. And that's why a lot of times I tell people, a lot of people aren't going to ever want to come on the show because I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be mean. People are amazed at how nice of a person I am in person, but I'm the same person on the microphone that I am in person. I'm no different. I'm literally, there's no act here. I'm literally the same asshole that you see here that when you see me walking down the street. So, and I was thinking about it. I said, I probably ought the guy on because it takes, I think he's got to have the understanding that it's not going to be a softball interview. That's why I'll never get like the likes of Carl Banks or someone on here because I'm not going to sit there and kiss your ass. I want to talk Giants, and I want to talk about Giants truthfully, and I want to talk about Giants in a way that, not just about the NFL itself, but Giant history and everything else. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they're more worried that it's going to go down a wrong path. But I was talking to someone on Twitter, and they were like, you should have X person on. And I say, maybe I'll reach out to that person and invite him, invite that person on. So I was just curious in the chat if there is somebody, and don't say Carl Banks. Don't say Carl Banks, because that's never gonna fucking happen. What do you mean, man? I might come on. That's never gonna happen. But is there anyone out there, maybe a beat writer or someone out there, or even a YouTuber? We're gonna have We're gonna have a couple of YouTubers on Sunday. Giant YouTubers. I'm not gonna say who. But we're firming that up now. But is there anyone out there that we would like in the OBB chat that we'd like to see come on, that we would like to see maybe do a one-on-one sit down with? Because it's great, because it's never gonna fucking happen. I got Bob Papa yelling at me at events. He doesn't even know who I am. Like, Bob, he's like, we've got into it on. I love it because he goes to me, well, him and I have gotten into it on Twitter. And I thought to myself, Bob, I don't even follow you on Twitter. So I'm not even sure how that's possible. Talking ball with Pat Leonard. It's a Pat Leonard channel. DJ fanboys stand up. This is his year. I hope they are. He does live streams, pre-tape interviews. Stop hating Tim. I'm not hating. I don't know who I don't remember which one. I don't remember which one he is. I had to go look it up, but now I know who he is. Because you want to be shocked about it. The Giants aren't my life. I know you see all the stuff back there. That's more for show related stuff. You should see the rest of my man cave. It's quite eclectic. He beat Rodgers on a bad ankle 2 years ago. He's not hating. He wants a cut. He wants a clip of a cut of Tim's getting his flowers in Pat Leonard's stream. That's all. He's not going to watch the whole hour stream to hear his name. No. Strider, you fucking nailed it, man. You're right. I'm not. If you cut the clip, I may not watch it. Yes, I'm not lying. Yeah, I'm being lazy. I'm sorry. I got so much shit to do in life that sometimes I admit it. I admit it. I'm lazy. I admit it. I love it because James sends me stuff. And he's like, did you watch that? I'm like, no. Then I go back and watch it. We got dogs, Evan. I'm already looking forward to the quarterbacks in next year's draft. This is going to be the year. Sucks. Cheers, boys. You out of Jackson? See you later. Tim is mean. He means me, which means mean, but being nice about it. I like that. I like that. You need a good Dave Brown interview. Oh my God, the Dave Brown interview. I did a stream a long time ago. It was with Kerry Collins, and I actually met Kerry Collins a bunch of times, and I made him laugh about it a couple of years back, and we were talking about great Giant quarterbacks outside of Phil Simms and Eli Manning and Y.A. Tittle and Charlie Conley, and someone brought up Kerry Collins, and I said I don't like Kerry Collins, and I said he's a quitter, and people was like, how is he a quitter? I say he quit drinking, didn't he? He was my favorite growing up. Dave Brown was your favorite growing up. You really are on crack. Carl Banks, Carl Banks. Mr. Authentic's been on. He's been on before. Talking Giants. Zach Attack. I don't remember which one Talking Giants is. So you gotta clue me in. Which is the idiot that sits there like this all day with the big ass headset and the beard? Because he's a fucking moron. I got into him on Twitter. Because he said something fucking stupid, and I had to let him know he was stupid. He's like, sounds like jealousy to me, man. My response was, jealous of what? I've had sex. Oh my God. I'll be at the Jets Giant preseason game. I'm thinking about going. Chris Callaway. I would like to interview Chris Callaway. I actually like Chris Callaway. Pat Leonard interview. Yeah, okay, that's not gonna happen. Fizz Vegas. You know what's funny about Fizz Vegas? I didn't know a lot about him until I started talking to James, and I know him and Cop and I think it was Ron Effect had a problem with me on when they did their stream or something. Everyone has a problem with me, but it's I don't think there's much to interview there. He changed his stance on Daniel Jones, and now I think I thought he stopped doing YouTube though. Just to troll you should get Saquon Barkley to do a one-on-one interview. Oh, you know what? I love Saquon Barkley. He responds to my he likes and replies to my tweets. And plus we have the Saquon Barkley number 26 jersey. I would literally wear this if Saquon Barkley came on, I would literally wear that. And troll roll. Oh, that'd be nice. Fisk Vegas again. Tim with the Entertainer and Bad Dog. I used to do stuff with Bad Dog. I haven't talked to Bad Dog in a long time. I don't think there's any animosity. I don't have any animosity there. Chris is just Chris. Copizzle? That wouldn't go. I was on Cop Show. People forget that. I'm a DJ fanboy. Let's see here. Tim is Chris the Entertainer and Patricia married? Just asking because he's always on the show and they agree on everything. That's it. Oh, I know. I didn't know about Patricia Trainer. I know which one she is. I got in trouble because I called her the Giants' mom, the mom of the Giants. Boy, I really am mean. Locked on Giants. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Let's see, Patricia Trainer or Carl Banks. Which one do we think is going to happen first? I'm going with Hell Froze Over. The Giant safety will be me and my local high school team. Bart Carls. Yes, Patricia Trainer from Locked on Giants. Bart Carls. Dave Brown threw 199 yards against the Seahawks in 1985. Big Pat is delusional as hell. Big Pat's another one that hates me. I love how people hate me. I think it's awesome. You know what? I've said this before. Anyone could be loved. It takes a man to be hated and to still do this. I'd like to see you and Bobby Skinner talk Giants. I don't know who Bobby Skinner is. Zach, who's Bobby Skinner? Do I like him or not like him? Zach is my if I like you or don't like you, because I don't remember who I like and I don't like. Talking Giants, they work for John Boy Media, but they do a pretty good Giant content. I think I know which one they are. I think I do. I'm not sure. Next year's quarterback class doesn't suck. It does suck because we don't know. We don't know yet outside of Sanders, and I'm not sold on Carson Beck yet. I'm always waiting for that day for hell to freeze over. Talking Giants does film review and Madden player. Oh, the D4 offensive lineman. Okay, I got you now. I know. Thank you, Zach. You should interview Odell Beckham. Maybe Jesus is available too, guys. Cop is still waiting for Daniel Jones to prove us all wrong. Fisk is so hard to watch. His videos with the background music, the camera zooming in and out might suffer from seizures. I'm unsupporting you for getting that Saquon Barkley jersey. I've said this before, Jackson. I'm not 12 years old. I have jerseys from so many different teams. And that's when people are like, how can you have that Saquon Barkley jersey? What were you thinking? I'm thinking I'm not 12. So it doesn't matter to me. I have jerseys from probably every single team. So, and I didn't you know, it's funny. I have a Randall Cunningham jersey, and I have one other Eagles jersey. And I don't remember who it is, but I have a Randall. I have a retro Randall Cunningham. And I have a Bill Berge jersey, number 55. John Mara. Oh yeah. Okay. How could you get an Eagles jersey? It was real easy. I went on NFL.com, went Saquon Barkley, large, alternate black Eagles jersey, and then the screen comes up, and it asks for your address and your credit card information. Then you type that in, and then like 3 days later, the jersey shows up. It was pretty cool. Sorry, I like arguing with the turds in the comments on some YouTube channels when I don't agree with them. They're delusional. They call me a casual fan. Talking Giants. Okay, I don't remember. Oh, you get into R0B. I guess that's his name. Oh yeah, R0B. Oh, Rob hopefully is coming on Sunday. That's one of the guests. And I don't get into with R0B. I love Rob. I talk to Rob outside of YouTube. It's not just, we don't just, I haven't talked to him in a while though. But we haven't, because I've been kind of like hanging low. I've been laying low this summer. But I love Rob. I love Rob because I can push Rob's buttons. And I've told Rob this. I've told this to Rob before. He said something and he called me up to apologize. And I was like, what the hell are you fucking apologizing to me for? I said, I'm a bigger asshole than anyone out there. And I said, I know you were just kidding. I know. But then he was like, I felt bad about that. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. It's like, it's no big fucking deal. But I love Rob. I think you would do good on Big Blue Banter. I have no idea who that is. For the Giants to be good, but if I'm going to be good on there, Zach, do I like Big Blue Banter? If the Giants to be good, the offensive lineman has to block for 10 seconds. We all know that. It's impossible. No quarterback will get that much time. That's what Big Pats wants them to do. Big Pats is not a genius. I don't like your fence-sitting fickleness. Okay. I don't really know I have any fence sitting. I'm usually told that I have an opinion. I never waver off it. So that's always good. Zagatag says Bobby Skinner's talking Giants film reviews. The guy he hated Jason Garrett and is a D4 offensive lineman. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Buying a Saquon Barkley jersey. That's why people don't like you. Wow. Is that why people don't like me?
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Hey, Jackson, fuck off. You got banned, asshole. Next. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. She's more like a grandmother. I was being nice. I need neighbors to pick a damn number so I can buy his jersey. Hey, Tim, you should interview Mike Francesca because he keeps it real. I like it because a lot of people try to get under my skin and say, you're like Mike Francesca. Mike Francesca was a god in New York radio going back to the 80s. So I'll take that as a compliment. While if it's next year, quarterback sucks in the draft. The Giants fucked it up by not drafting one. Jones will be back next year. They may want to retire number 8 after that. Okay, when you say something stupid like that, that's why people don't like you. You sound like a 12-year-old. And Jackson, people have different interpretations of being loyal. Thank you, Strider. Oh, damn, Tim, my bad. Don't worry about it. Tim, I'm good with to say this. I've been watching you more lately because I like you. You need to see it to believe it with us. All the people promoting excitement about this team from the camp. I don't buy it yet. You know what it is, Joe? And I got to leave. But you know what it is, Joe? It's great to have excitement. It's great to be hyped about something. It's great to be more realistic and have realism, because when the excitement wavers and wanes, what do you have left with? You have the reality. And I think Sunday's show should be titled The Redemption Show. I think you brought up a great point, Joe. I think you have. And if all the guests pan out for Sunday, it's going to be pretty epic. And I do think it should be called, I am going to call it The Redemption Show. And there are certain people that are going to be on Sunday that you would never think would ever be on this channel. Seriously. And it's going to be interesting to the point, though. And these are some people that said some vile, nasty things about me. But when you have in a moment of sometimes people have moments of epiphanies, and sometimes, and it's shocking when some of these people reach out to me and they're like, hey, I want to talk to you. And some of these people apologize. And I'm like, well, that's great. And I always tell them, you don't have to apologize to me because I never really personally took offense to it. So it doesn't really matter, but I really appreciate that. So stay tuned for Sunday. Big Blue Banter is Nick Falto and Dan Schneider. I have no idea. I also like Big Blue Blanter. I agree with you. I agree with your views on the Giants. I'll have to look up Big Blue. No, I'm not. I'm not. I was going to say I'm going to have to look it up. I'm not. Sorry. It sounded good, but I'm just like, okay. Tim, I didn't like Tim at first. Well, that's a great comment. Fuck fuck you, Kevin. No, I'm just kidding. But then you sit back and you think about what he's saying. It makes sense. Thank you. And that's what I love when I have so many people like, I hate you. I hated you. And then they're like, but then I listened. And then after a period of time, I was like, well, he is kind of fucking making sense. Let's see here. One area looked better. The goalpost moves to another area to be dumped on by Tim. I don't dump on everything. Get Howard Cosell on the show. Yeah, that'd be cool with the Ouija board. Kevin T. Ditto. Tim is an acquired taste. I'm like fucking fungus, man. Tim, I've been criticized a lot, and they say, tell me that they don't like how I do things. I say to them, so you don't like how I do things, huh? Well, that's just bad. Tim, I'm just here for the show support, bud. Dinner time in Germany. Hey, Logic's Finest, you going to be around on Sunday? Stream on Sunday. I got to get out of here now. I was going to get out of here at 12, but I was having fun. But hopefully Logic's Finest. I haven't seen you in a while, brother. I hope everything's going well. Paul DiDonato is delusional as hell as well, Tim. Way out there for real. I'm still looking at Pat Leonard. I think I found the channel. Someone DM'd me. Someone DM'd me the link here on X. So I think I found it. I think this is it. Don't DM me the link. DM me the timestamp. Oh my God! Sometimes great balls of fire. What's up, Greg? Greg, everyone's stopping in. I gotta go. Respect it goes both ways. You don't like it. Oh shit, Jackson, that was too bad. Fans will hate on Tim because they always think they're going on a freaking 2011, but when the season starts, Tim is usually right. Then they have to eat crow and they hate to watch. No one ever comes back and apologizes. I always love it when I say something. Oh, Jackson, really? You just got back from being put in timeout. Now you're going back and putting timeout. Don't you dare talk to anyone on this channel like that. Now you're back in timeout again. I'm pretty nice if some people came back and apologized. I always tell people, you may not like my take, but wait 6-7 months. Because normally I'm probably right. And I love it because we had a young fan a couple years back. This was during the Judge era. I have to find the video. Maybe I'll find the video. He went back and went back for like 100 videos. And he was like, and I love it because he's like, your accuracy rate of your predictions was like 87.5%. I should have him on again. We had him on. This was Joe Judge years. I was like, well, I thought that was pretty cool, but no one ever comes back and says, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Pat Leonard is good as well. He keeps it real. Fine, I'm going to watch Pat Leonard. Everyone leave me the fuck alone about Pat Leonard. I'm not going to watch Pat Leonard. I found the channel though. I'm assuming it is the live stream from yesterday. Is it the live stream from yesterday? The should Malik Neighbors play on the play versus the Texans? Daniel Jones ready and Brian Dable. Is that the one? Is that the one we're talking about? Okay. Oh, Pat Leonard's the guy from the Daily News. All right, now I know who Pat Leonard is. Okay. I had to look it up here on Twitter. On X. Is it still called Twitter or is it still called X? I don't know. I'm looking it up on Twitter. Everyone just amuse yourselves a minute. We're reading Pat Leonard stuff on Twitter. All right. I have to have some pizza. I'm hungry. Yes, the live stream. Okay, so it was yesterday. I apologize. Okay, what do you apologize? Oh, you apologize. I get it. So what the fuck you apologize? Never apologize, but I bet they always, and honestly, and are always viewing the live streams. Put the link in the chat so we can get you the put the link in the chat so you'll get the timestamp. I don't know. Can I put the link in the chat? Can I put the needle on the record? All right, here, I'll put the link in the chat. Okay, I do that. I gotta go, guys. I gotta do that. There you go. I put the link in the chat. Just somebody send it to me on freaking Twitter, man. DM me on Twitter or email me. Everyone should know the email, Tim at onlinebigblue.com. There we go. The first person that emails it to me, I will send you an online Big Blue t-shirt. Or I will send you anything from the online Big Blue website. I'll even send you a DJ He-Man DJ Hitters Club shirt. I also have the fan on shirts. Someone that sends it to me, I will send. First person to send it to me, you get a shirt. There you go. I put it all in there. Fans gave you your flowers yesterday, Tim. Really? Well, finally someone fucking likes me, and I'm too lazy to find it. Let's see. Interview with Sal. Who's Sal Letitia? I don't know who that is. I like to interview Howard Cross because he doesn't like me. He doesn't seem to like me. He ignores me. He literally ignores me. Pizza is God's food. Yeah, I need some pizza. Let's see. Fist Vicious. Is that Fist Vegas too? Strider says, I don't always agree with you, Tim, but I'm not going to be nasty about it as say childish things and unsubscribe like because Tim did this or that. Can I at least still be nasty and childish? I appreciate that, man. I really do. You should interview WA Sound Salad. Oh, the guy from I haven't listened to WFN in years. No, you're not banned. You're putting time out. I don't ban people. I don't block people because I don't know how. I don't ban people because I don't know how. I block you for 5 minutes and then you come right back in. I'm going to tell you a quick story, then I got to go. I still have this friend Dave. This is man shit. So anyone that's a man, listen to this. This is man shit. And you could tell I'm Gen X because it's man shit. I have this friend Dave, and years ago, we literally got into a fist fight, a brawl. I mean, like a drag down, knockdown, punches thrown, good 10-minute fight. And we're both laying on the floor. He's got blood coming out of his mouth. I cut up my entire knuckles were all cut to shit and they were cut open and bleeding. And we're laying there on the floor. And I looked over at him and I said to him, you want to go grab a beer? And I remember his roommate I don't even remember what the fight was about. Looking at it, I was like, you two literally just got into a drag down fucking brawl in the middle of this room. And now you're going out for a beer. I said, yeah. I said, cause it's over. It's done. So, so just move on. That should be a good philosophy in life. I don't mind being time. I don't know how to ban people. You know what? I'm putting you in timeout again. I'm putting you in timeout again now. You're back in timeout. I'm very serious when I'm on the stream, but I like to joke with Tim as well. It's always fun. We always just have a good time here. Has anyone gotten a Jeremy Shockey interview in years? Lawrence Taylor would be a good one as soon as he gets out of jail. Howard Cross, Paul Donato, Carl Banks, Super Homers, just keep it real with the fans. Tim, just be you. That's why I love you. That's what I do, man. That's what I do. Wow, Pat Leonard. Shit is 2 hours, 15 minutes long. It's the Tales of Arabia Giants YouTube chat. It was the day live fat of a fight. I was Rowdy Roddy Piper. What going on was it David Keith? Yeah, it was. Most underrated John Carpenter movie. They Live, great movie. I have the action figures. I have the one action figure of the other guy over there, and there's a Roddy Piper over there, but he's on the wall somewhere. And one of these walls, oh, there he is. There he is. Look next to Dracula. There he is right there, right next to Dracula. There he is, the Carpenter. Right next to Dracula, right above Miller Lite. There he is from the John Carpenter movie. Tim loves seeing those Shockies and Armsteads on the 100-year list. Yeah, I did love seeing that. All right, guys, I got to check out of here. It's been really long. Make sure you hit the like button. Live stream on Sunday. It's the redemption stream. Roddy Piper, greatest instant. I loved it. Shockingly, I was never a big wrestling fan, but what was it? Piper's Corner. And when he did the interviews, I am Crispin Love MMA. Where the fuck are you, man? I gotta go. It's old home week, and now I gotta go. I've been on for I don't know, but I've been on for an hour, 40 minutes. I really do. I gotta go. I gotta eat, and I got some stuff I gotta do in the house. Sunday. You're very welcome, Evan. Sunday, big stream. It's the redemption stream. Make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm not going to tell you who's coming on. I think I accidentally said one person, but people are going to be on here. You're going to be shocked. Piper's Pit. Thank you, Mark. Piper's Pit. I used to love that show. It was only on. It was like 3 minute spot out of the whole Saturday wrestling. I was never into wrestling, but I love Roddy Piper. I know it's shocking for some people to believe. I know that's just. If you want another underrated Piper movie, When Hell Came to Frogtown, go watch that. When Hell Came to Frogtown, another underrated Piper movie, is just the same as They Live. But we're gonna have the big redemption stream on Sunday, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm gonna work on all these interviews. You're gonna be shocked of all these people that are gonna come on for the interviews. I wouldn't even know how to reach out to these people. I'll just yell at them from the sideline like I normally do. That always works out really well for me. But we'll work on all these interviews. So make sure we get that. And first person that sends me the timestamp of me getting my love on the Pat Leonard Show, I will send you whatever shirt you want from the website. Just send it to me with the clip and send me the shirt and your size and your address, and I will mail that out to you. Actually, I won't. I'm just going to order it from the website and have them send it to you. I sometimes like to think that I'm going to do these things, but I'll just let the website do it. We have to have Piper's Pit, man. Piper's Pit. That is a blast from the past, man. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out, guys. And as always, this is Tim, this New York Giants Straight Talk. Hi, Big Blue LLC. I want to thank everyone for stopping in, stopping by, stopping out, and we'll see you on Sunday. Have a good day. Stay safe, people.